How's it going, everybody? I'm Steve, and welcome back to my channel. So tonight, I'm really excited to rank the 18 movies from John Carpenter. These are I'm not going to include any TV movies like like Elvis or Body Bags or any of the Masters of Horror. Just the 18 movies that were released in theaters. And like 2 years ago, I did like a top 10 Carpenter movies, and for the most part, a lot of those same movies are in my top 10. Some of the order's been changed. One movie's left the top 10, and another movie's moved in. So really excited about this. It's like I said, one of my favorite directors. A lot of these I still have on DVD. Some of them I've upgraded to Blu-ray just recently, but I'm not going to show what those are until like the end of May. So a lot of these I'm still showing the DVDs until, because I don't want to spoil what happens at the end of the month. But so really excited about these. But so number 18, this one was actually released in 2001, and the movie is Ghost of Mars. This one has Ice Cube and Jason Statham. Pam Grier has a Natasha Henstridge. This one, Carpenter didn't do like another movie until like 2010 after this. So this is one he was not. I don't think he was extremely happy with, and a lot of fans kind of hit or miss on it. I think I'm sure there's a lot of people that love this movie. I need to give it a rewatch, but it's always one that I didn't like back then. So maybe it still kind of needs to grow on me a little bit, but that's what I have at number 18. So at number 17, this one was released in 2010. It was his next theatrical movie. It's the movie The Ward. It has the very popular Amber Heard in it. This one. I didn't dislike this movie. It was nice at the time that John Carpenter was back, doing something that was a theatrical release. It's just one I haven't really revisited since I bought it on. I'm not sure if I saw it in the theater. Maybe I did see it once. Then I bought it, on the DVD. And it's just one I don't return to very often, but of course it's another one I need to give a rewatch to. But it's just one that didn't connect with me the first time I saw it. But so number 17. So number 16, this one is kind of painful to put this so low, but it's from 1995, and the movie is Village of the Damned. I used to have this movie I used to have a poster in my bedroom of this movie. It's a remake. It has a Christopher Reeve. Superman 78. The Superman I grew up with. It has Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker's in it. It's just a lot of great stuff in it. It's just the movie's really dark. It's really bleak as well. It's one of his most bleak movies. So like I said, this one, it's kind of painful to put this so low at number 16. But like I said, pretty much from 16 down, I pretty much like all these movies quite a bit. But so that's where I have it ranked though. At number 15, this one stars an actor that I've been a huge fan of since the 70s, the stuff he did in the late 70s and did, throughout the 80s, just somebody I've grown up with. But this is another movie that Carpenter says that he basically wanted to quit the business again after doing this a lot. He says that a lot in the 90s and 2000s, but this one's from 1992, and the movie is Memoirs of an Invisible Man. It's starring Chevy Chase, big time star, Daryl Hannah, if you've seen Splash, she was in that, and she was in the Kill Bill movies. But this movie, this was released a year before Jurassic Park, and Industrial Light and Magic did the special effects and the visual effects in the movie. And I think the CGI in the movie, I think, is a little bit ahead of its time. I don't think it was quite ready for that kind of CGI at the time, and maybe the budget wasn't quite as high as it could have been. So maybe they didn't put as much effort into it as they would like Jurassic Park a year later. But like I said, I think Carpenter says he didn't get along with some of the cast members in this, and it's been rumored maybe Chevy Chase may have been one of the people he didn't get along with. But that's where I have it at number 15. At number 14, this one's actually 50 years old now. It was basically his first film. It was like a student film. And the movie is Dark Star. This one is a really trippy kind of movie. It's one I haven't seen in a while. I'd like to get this one on Blu-ray at some point, but it's one I remember seeing and thinking just how kind of silly the movie is overall. It's definitely a product of its time, 1974. So you get a lot of stuff, at that time that people were into. But overall, I always I think it's memorable. It's one that I liked it when I saw it. It's the first time obviously I saw it on DVD, but I enjoy this movie. It actually gets a pretty high score on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's one I definitely need to rewatch as well. So number 13, this is actually probably one of my favorites from the 90s from Carpenter. It's a very product of its time though. It's from 1998. I have Vampires. This one, starring James Woods, has a Daniel Baldwin, Has a Cheryl Lee, has a Thomas Ian Griffith. If you've seen, the Cobra Kai movie, the TV show, and Karate Kid 3, I believe was in. He's a pretty good villain in this movie. It's just a lot of stuff. Like I said, it's a product of its time. It's just the guys in the movie are definitely from the '90s and from that era. So you kind of, but I really like the vampires in this movie. So the movie there's some things that are kind of cringy in some ways in the movie, but I think just the action and the vampires really kind of, it's what really kind of makes it memorable and one I really still love. At number 12 from 1976, I have Assault on Precinct 13. This one I think is basically his second movie after Dark Star. I think it's this is one that really got it. People kind of noticed Carpenter at this point. It has a great story. This movie's actually been remade. If you noticed, a lot of Carpenter's movies are being remade now, but I think most of his originals are much better than the remakes. I think a lot of times he does like the producing or executive producing on those, but they're just not as good without him directing them. They don't work all that well. So, but I love this original. So at number 11, this one actually just dropped out of my top 10 because I just watched it a couple weeks ago. But the movie is Starman from 1984. As you know, Jeff Bridges was really great in this movie. He actually got an Oscar nomination for this role. Was it Karen Allen? She's good in the movie. I think that this movie has kind of a mixed tone to it. It's an alien story, and it kind of starts off really kind of dark and dangerous, and then it kind of becomes kind of a lighthearted kind of movie, kind of like a love story. So it kind of has kind of two different tones to it. It's almost like E.T. And it kind of ends like something more similar to E.T. But it starts off really dark, kind of scary. And it's this is a period when Carpenter was doing mostly horror movies. But then to do a movie like this, it just seems to be a little bit lighthearted for his style. But when I watched it a couple weeks ago, I thought, this movie is one I don't watch very often, just because of some of the tone of the movie. But I think it's still a great movie. I definitely need to get this one on Blu-ray at some point. But like I said, this was in my top 10 at one time, and it's been bumped out. But still, I think it's a good movie. It's just doesn't work. I don't think it's really stood the test of time as well as some of his other movies. But this one's 40 years old, so it's one definitely worth watching. It's definitely worth owning as well. Okay, at number 10 from 1996, I have Escape from L.A. I'm a big Kurt Russell fan. I love the original Escape from New York. This movie's really a parody of Escape from New York, but I'm a huge fan of the Snake Plissken character. So, and like I said, this one's kind of a comical compared to the original. But I love the soundtrack to it as well. It's probably the part I love the most about the movie. Just the music and it's really great. I love the cast as well. But like I said, Kurt Russell, you'll notice that all of his movies are in my top 10 because I'm a huge fan of Kurt Russell, huge fan of Snake Plissken. So number 10. So at number 9 from 1994, I have In the Mouth of Madness. This one was actually not in my top 10 before. Starman was actually in the top 10. So this one's actually leapfrogged over Escape from L.A. And it's one that it's really had to kind of grow on me over the years. Sam Neill's really great in the movie. It has a Sutter Kane, the villain. This movie's really, like I said, it's had to grow on me. To me, the one kind of criticism I have of the movie is that to me it's always kind of looked like a TV movie in a lot of ways. It's a horror movie, but it has kind of a TV movie kind of look to it. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that. I may be the only one that thinks that, but that's the reason why this movie's had to grow on me over the years, because it's just so odd how, to me, it kind of looks like something you'd see on HBO or something you'd see direct to video maybe, but it obviously was a theatrical release. But it's one of his weirder movies, I think, and like I said, it kind of keeps growing on me, and I'm glad I have it in my top 10 now, and I'm glad I've revisited it. This one I also need to get on Blu-ray, but it's a movie that, like I said, I like it more and more every time I see it. At number 8 from 1987, I have Prince of Darkness. This one, I will tell you that I did not like this movie when I saw it in the theater. This is definitely kind of broke kind of like a trend where Carpenter had a lot of his movies would be like 95 minutes or so long, and this one's like an hour and 45 minutes. I think it's almost like 20 minutes into the movie before the opening credits actually end. So the credits go forever in the movie. This movie, you'll see Alice Cooper's in like 2 or 3 scenes in the movie. I think the part that I've had to kind of grow on me over the years is the fact that the ending's really dark, really kind of bleak. the ending is the part that's just, it's I've had to kind of accept over the years, because it's kind of sad in a lot of ways, but it's interesting for a movie to kind of stick with you that many years since 1987. I saw this movie in the theater at the time, so it's one that now that I've seen it quite a few more times, I have it on 4K now. It's a movie that I like quite a bit more since I was younger, and like I said, it's grown on me a lot. So at number 7 for 1986, I have Big Trouble in Little China. This one, I saw this in the theater years ago, and actually I saw it again like 2 years ago at like a midnight showing with some of my friends. And it's just one that I really like Kurt Russell's character. In this movie, he kind of plays like kind of a John Wayne kind of character, which is very much people in his age group definitely grew up with John Wayne. And his character talks a big game, but he's kind of a fool in the movie. I really like the kung fu in the movie. Has a James Hong. I think he's like 95 now. It just amazing he's still alive, and he's been in so many great movies. But Kurt Russell's character, it's so funny in the movie. It's definitely not like like Snake Plissken. It's definitely his character just accidentally kind of gets stuff done in the movie, and it's just by mistake he gets he's still a hero in a lot of ways, but it doesn't happen on purpose, and that's what makes it so great. At number 6 from 1983, I have Christine. This one's a great movie. It was based on a Stephen King novel. Really the car is a big part of the movie. Overall, and one of the main characters is really the two stars of the movie, and it's just interesting where this goes. It goes really dark in a lot of ways, but it's one I've always loved. But it just the car is so awesome looking in the movie, and it's just the stuff it does, and the stuff they did with practical effects and kind of reversing the film, that kind of stuff makes Christine definitely rewatchable. Okay, at number 5 for 1988, I have They Live. This, starring Roddy Piper, the late Roddy Piper. He was a pro wrestler, WWF, mostly, just it has Keith David. It has this iconic scene, fight scene in the movie and I love the consumerism kind of vibe in the movie. Just a really eerie, just kind of. It's really kind of commentary on the 80s and how we consumed so much, and how we consume now. Buying movies like this, we're consuming hopefully by choice. Hopefully it's not done by some force that's kind of subliminally making us buy movies and stuff like that. But I love the vibe, and John Carpenter definitely had something going on in 1988. So number 4 from 1980, I have The Fog. This one I've always loved. Jamie Lee Curtis as Adrienne Barbeau. I know some people that don't like this movie all that much, but when you see a movie when you're like 8 or 9 years old, it's going to stay with you your whole life. I was 7 in 1980, but I probably didn't see the movie for a year or two later. So it's just I love the vibe of the movie, the campfire kind of vibe in the beginning of the movie, and it's basically a ghost story. Love the fog kind of vibe. It's definitely kind of a character in the movie that leaves this kind of atmosphere that really great, really rewatchable. Okay, at number 3 from 1981, I have Escape from New York. Like I said, I'm a huge Snake Plissken fan and Kurt Russell fan. I love that anti-hero kind of vibe to the movie. Really dark. Like I said, it's way darker than Escape from LA was. But that character's it's kind of stayed with me over the years. And I know some people they prefer Carpenter's movies to be horror movies, and it's definitely not that. But I love the cast in this movie. It's one that I've always loved. I don't think it's really stood the test of time with a lot of people, or some people maybe never liked the movie overall. And so it's kind of going to be hit or miss with a lot of people. But that's what I have at number 3. So at number 2 from 1978, I have Halloween. This is Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasence as the Michael Myers character. I definitely love the first 3 Halloween movies, and even Halloween 3, which is way different from anything else in the franchise. But this movie, on this Blu-ray, Jamie Lee Curtis actually came to Indianapolis and did like a horror hound, and it was like a charity event kind of thing where I think she donated all the money she made from this convention, and she gave it all to like a children's hospital in Los Angeles. But it's great. She doesn't do she doesn't do conventions very often. This may be the only one she's ever done, and as far as I know. Maybe since then she's done another one, but just the whole vibe. She had a whole thing where it was like I think it was like a Saturday and a Sunday, and I think it was on Sunday that she wouldn't leave basically until she met every fan, signed every autograph, and that's why Jamie Lee Curtis is so special, because she wouldn't turn anybody away. Everybody that was there, actually, she talked to everyone and signed every autograph, and that's why she's so great. So at number one for 1982, I had The Thing. This is Kurt Russell again. Obviously, Rob Bottin did all the creature effects in this movie. He should have won an Oscar for that, for his work in this movie. He was really young. I think he was only like 21 maybe at the time. But Keith David's also in this movie. It really has this really open-ended kind of ending, but very dark, just a very claustrophobic kind of vibe to the movie. But yeah, this one was actually number 3 on my list before when I did my top 10. I had to put it number 1. Halloween was at number 2 on that list as well. So this one, like I said, it's one I should keep it at number 1. It's one I do watch quite often nowadays, but it's one I hadn't watched in a while. Last time I did this, did my ranking, so I had to put it at number 1. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate everybody checking out my videos. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing that if you want to see more ranking videos. I do quite a few of those, and I love doing them. Please put a thumbs up on this video. Definitely will help with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great one. Thank you.